Initiative Board and Commission Member Replacement.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to recommend to the mayor that he remove Scott Casper from the Board of Trustees of the Village of Orland Park's Police Pension Fund, as well as from the Village of Orland Park Ethics Commission.
Second.
Any comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
there were recent statements made on social media that were very damning, factually false and untrue. It didn't cast the village in a very good light and was very disparaging, I feel, to our police department. Chief made it very clear at our last meeting how he felt about it, and I had the opportunity to talk to some rank and file members who also shared a very strong sentiment. When we put people on our boards and commission, we hope the overriding thing is to look out for the best interest of Orland Park, the people we represent, the people that work here, our businesses, and I think this statement was a very reckless statement, and I would ask for your consideration in this.
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Reardon.
I agree with all of Trustee Katsinas' comments, and I'll take it a step further in that we want people on these boards that are coming with different opinions and that are going to discuss issues and may not agree with everything that somebody up here, says. But when you go out of your way to disparage because of political reasons and you go put videos that are completely untrue about our police department, you have no place on these types of boards. So again, I don't think this is done to, punish a dissenting opinion at a meeting or someone come up with a different idea that doesn't pass. This was blatant, and this is not the kind of person that I think the citizens of Orland Park want on these types of boards.
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Milani.
I agree with Trustee Katsinas and Trustee Reardon on this 100%. If you actually watch the video of the commercial in question, and I wish we could play it for everyone just so you could see it, but if you also view the advertising on social media that he's doing, I agree that this behavior is not consistent with supporting our police and definitely not considered ethical. Negative comments disparaging the village are uncalled for by appointed or elected members of our committees, our commissions, our boards, and they shouldn't be tolerated. Even in separation agreements with employees, we include verbiage that it's not tolerated. So if this was any employee in the village or one of us, I would feel the same way. We established ethical standards and ethical standards of conduct for a reason, and they should be applied to all of us.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Healy.
There is a lot of crime going on in Chicago and Cook County, and there's no question about it. And a lot of it gets pushed away by the press and the TV stations. It doesn't get its due share about its causes and its who's actually responsible for it. But the reckless comments that are made, we support. I support the police, and I think that the Orland Park Police should be held up as an example to the other offices in metropolitan Cook County as a way to follow. I have nothing but admiration for their processes and procedures, and this reckless comment should not have been made. It should have been open for discussion with us first. Maybe we could have directed them into a more correct position. But it's just I just can't understand it. That's my comment.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Compass.
So I did not comment on this last meeting. It was still fresh. I didn't want to overshadow Chief Mitchell's retirement, and because he responded to it so clearly. However, Trustee Katsinas raises a good point. It's an unfortunate reality that political candidates make controversial statements to get attention. If the attack had been kept to being against another candidate, I'd leave it in the political field where it belongs. But this accusation and what has followed was leveled at our police command. For a candidate to suggest that Chief Tim McCarthy, Chief Joe Mitchell, and the Orland Park Police Department have been lying about statistics that are reported to the FBI is pathetic. I would note that no substantiated information has yet been offered by the candidate to accurately dispute any of Chief McCarthy or Chief Mitchell's facts. The solution to the fear-mongering presented in the video was an anti-crime task force. That candidate's task force is led by a felon convicted of 8 federal charges, including making false statements. I wish I was making that up. On one hand, you have the distinguished careers of Chief McCarthy and Chief Mitchell, and on the other hand, Well, I think we can all understand why Chief Mitchell responded the way that he did in that last meeting. I might also point out that Orland Park already has an anti-crime task force made up of the very best experts. Here, we call them the Orland Park Police Department. So yes, normally I would not comment on political clickbait. However, as Trustee Katsinas notes, this individual is not only a political candidate, he represents the village on the Police Pension Board and on the Ethics Commission. While he can speak for himself as a candidate, he certainly did not speak for the village when he chose to air an attack video against our police leadership. He also was clearly not representing the interests of the women and men of the police department by suggesting that they were not making enough arrests in later statements. With regards to the Ethics Commission, it is not hard to see that he would have a significant conflict of interest in handling any investigation into a political rival. It's simply logical to install a new and unbiased commissioner. So with that, I would support Trustee Katsinas' proposal.
Any other comments? So I will be abstaining from this for obvious reasons, so I won't comment on it or give my opinion on this. What I will do is give you some procedural things. One is that you will vote tonight, but you will also have to vote at the board meeting for it to be official at the next board meeting. Two, and the attorney can either agree with this or tell me that I'm mistaken here, but I think this is correct. The power of removal lies with me. The power of recommendation is me, with advice and consent from the board. So you can, but I will follow what your recommendation is. So, just to be clear, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Also, what I would like to recommend, though, when it goes to the next board meeting, is that Mr. Casper is invited here so that he can explain himself and he can answer your questions. I think it's only fair before removing someone to give them that opportunity. So, and you can certainly make a motion to amend your motion that would include inviting Mr. Casper. He doesn't have to come, but inviting him to the next board meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
and I'd like to add to the motion that we make an invitation to Mr. Casper that he appear at our next board meeting.
Second.
Okay. So now the question is put to move to recommend the mayor that he remove Scott Casper from the Board of Trustees of the Village of Orland Park Police Pension Fund, as well as from the Village of Orland Park Ethics Commission, amended to include that Mr. Casper is invited to speak at the next board meeting. Call the roll.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, excuse me.
Are we voting on the
Correct.
amendment?
So please vote on the amendment to the motion.
Aye.
Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
No.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Abstain.
Now for the main motion.
And now for the main motion.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Abstain. Motion carries.
Non-scheduled citizens and visitors.